So I got one question for you. What the heck is going on with people's app usage score? Let's get after it. So app usage has always been like lowest on my list. I mean, the 4 things that Amazon grades you on, it's like on time. Have I ever been late to a load? Yes, I have. Disruption free. I mean, have I had issues come up with a load where, it might have been beyond my control, but I needed to report some sort of disruption? Of course. And then, acceptance. Have I rejected a load? Yes, I have, regrettably. But, app usage has just seemed like one of those things to me that's just so simple. It's like, okay, you use the app when you're running an Amazon load. You have location services turned on. I know in the case of like Apple, I don't know about Android, but it's like, do you allow them to get your precise location? That's all fine. App usage has just not even been on my radar at all. So with all that in mind, I mean, we go back to the last week in November and they hit me with a location services unavailable for a load. I believe it was like a SAN 5 to SAN 3. I think I was due there at like 8:31 at night. And let's just assume I didn't have any screenshots for any of this. I'm just looking at the information that they see. And it's like, I hit the geofence part of the gate or the geofence portion at like 8 o'clock. I didn't make it up to actually get my Y check-in, my actual check-in where they check you in at the guard check, I believe until like 8:28. Now, why is there a 28-minute difference in there? I was in a long line of trucks, and you can bet that I took a picture of that long line of trucks in case I ended up being late. Now, I still was 3 minutes early, but I'm just planning ahead, taking pictures, that type of stuff. If you want to know how to protect your grade with pictures, I've made prior content on that. But I get in there just with the information that they had in their system. It's like, well, obviously, if I hit the gate check-in at 8 o'clock and I didn't make it up to there, I mean, obviously my location services were on. Otherwise, how would the app know that I hit the gate check-in at that specific time? And I kind of disputed it with them, and they ended up seeing things my way. They're like, okay, we're going to reverse this one. The very next week, first week in December, they hit me with another one of these. And the thing I didn't like about this time is in the previous week, they said, hey, it was this specific load. So it took a lot less time for me to go through and to find out, okay, exactly I know which load they're talking about. On this one, they just sent over saying like, hey, a leg or a tour that you did this last week wasn't compliant, but they didn't give me anything on that. And that kind of left me in, like, well, where do I go from here? Like which one of these things do I need to provide evidence on to get my grade corrected and dispute this and back to 100%? So the workaround for this, when they don't provide you a specific leg, and I do sometimes work with people like one-on-one, they'll send me over screenshots, I'll kind of direct them as far as which way to do and stuff. The workaround for this is, since you don't have a specific case, or since you don't have a specific load to submit a dispute on, you actually have to go down. I usually do this on the phone, but I'm sure the same thing holds true on like a tablet or a laptop. But you go down on the left-hand side, you go to Support Center, you want to create a new case, and then you want to create like I think it's like under like Amazon Relay Support, and you just want to type out an explanation there and say like, listen, please don't tell me to do a dispute. I always start that, in case, let's say I am talking to an AI, which I know people accuse Amazon of. I don't really care if they're using an AI as long as the AI gets it right. But I lead off with, please don't tell me to do a performance dispute. I know how to do that. My issue here is you're telling me that a leg of a trip that I did last week was location services weren't on, but you're not providing me the specific one so that I'm able to do a dispute. I mean, I know that normally you go into your performance, you find the leg in question, and you say, I want to do a dispute. Well, when there's nothing there and it's just blank, a dispute's not an option for you. So you just want to create a new case to customer support and submit your best evidence that you have to say that, you were in fact using the app. And you might be sitting there with a lower grade, be like, man, shut up. I don't want to hear about your 99 point something. Grades lower than that. I hear you and I understand on that. But here's the thing, and I can only speak from my area. As this channel does grow in size, I hear from other people and hear that the same thing happens where they're living too. But I can show you big weeks where I go out and make like $8,500 in a week. I will attribute that is only possible with having a grade of a 98% or higher. If you reduce my grade down from 100 down 2 percentage points to a 97.9% B, now, rather than $8,500, I make half of that, and my profit margin goes way down because I have to drive further, burn more fuel, just in order to make that other half. So conspiracy theory time. I mean, I wish I had a tinfoil hat to throw on and lean in real close and be like, listen, I think this is the plan. No, I don't have any of that. I don't have the hat. But, you know, what I'm left with is, you know, if there's too many people getting that early access from Amazon and this is their plan to get it out, this is their plan to kind of kick you out of the program. Don't let that happen. You know, stay on top of that grade. Check that grade daily. I, in the past, have always been getting that screenshot where it says arrival successfully detected. I originally started doing that as a way to prove that I got there on time. And the more I started thinking about it, not only does that one screenshot, you know, saying arrival successfully detected, not only does it prove what time you got there, it proves you had the app running, and obviously location services were running too. Otherwise, the app wouldn't know you're there. It wouldn't tell you successfully arrived. But I kind of started thinking back on that. You know, that one screenshot may not be enough. As a result of all this, it now has me taking an obnoxious amount of screenshots. I mean, I start from where I start the load till I end the load. I can take them cradle through the grave as far as, you know, this is what I started. Here's me driving. Hey Siri, take a screenshot. You know, I have a little 20-30 mile trip. I end up having like, you know, 8 to 10 screenshots at the end of me driving, all that stuff. So that way, if it's ever alleged again that, hey, you weren't using the app, or hey, you didn't have location services on, it's like, I could prove otherwise. And, you know, you've worked hard for that grade. You got that 100%. You've worked hard for that. You know, you obtained that for a while. You know how difficult that is to do. Don't let them take this from you over something that you can prove otherwise. You know, you have those screenshots, they hit you with something like this, you can come back and be like, you know, which load was it? Here's everything, you know, here's the load in question, here's 9 screenshots of me using the app throughout the entire thing. The last thing you'd want to do is get on there and see like, oh, that's fine, I still have a 99.5. I believe now you can only do performance disputes for like the previous 14 days. Once they go to like day 15, I think you can no longer dispute them. And you'd hate to get hit with one of these in week 1 and then hit with another one in week 2, only to find out that now you don't have early access through a false allegation like this. And, you know, you lose early access and you're now time barred from doing a dispute on it because more than 14 days has happened. Stay on top of them, keep those screenshots, and, you know, you've worked hard for that grade. Do everything you can to keep it. I hope this video serves you well. Appreciate you for watching. Take care.